Yo YouTube, CC here, and oh man, it's the semifinals, it's the semifinals of Pool B of the LLL. It's insane. The matchups are hype. I am hype. I'm actually a little bit nervous. It's not a blind reaction yet, but I want to announce that next week it is going to be different. It's the finals, so there are going to be blind reactions. So it's the last time I'm actually in full control of all this. So it's really exciting, but not as exciting as the matchups. Looking at Mozo, Kine, two fantastic players going to face off versus each other. And in the other semifinals, it's Butters, the undefeated god, versus Yurmas, the underdog, I feel like. Two amazing matchups, and we're gonna dive straight in. Yeah, and we're gonna talk about Mozo versus Kine. A little bit of a backstory for this match. Mozo, of course, had a great season, almost going undefeated, except for that last game versus Evelog. He's been very consistent. He knows his draft, even though he didn't draft him himself. He's a very skilled player, and he's shown it time and time again. Some of those standout mons, for example, for me, is the way he uses his Patron is just fantastic. It's a great Tusk, of course. It's the Dialga. A lot of mons that are just so well executed every single week. And I'm really hyped to see what he brings to the table. Kine, on the other hand, had a bit of a rough start, but ended up balling all throughout. It's a very good team builder. He has a very good team building crew around him, and he's shown time and time again, for example, with that Umbreon, that 9-pointer, I believe, and Weavile, for example, some excellent standout mons. That he is a very capable opponent, and today they're gonna face off versus each other. The reason why I wanted to hype this match a little bit up, yeah, this was a very unique match in the sense of it didn't reflect the seasons that both of these players had. Mozo had a unfortunate run-in with, I believe his team got deleted like half an hour beforehand, which is insane. That's so stressful. That's not something you want to deal with before a playoffs match. While Kine, on the other hand, had a little bit of an emergency. His head wasn't in the game fully, and yeah, he just went in kind of still with his head at that emergency. So it's probably not the best display of power these people are gonna give. I think both of them could have played better, could have brought a very more skilled or balanced set. But yeah, it resulted in the game that you see here before you. It feels like a little bit of a spoof game, because it ended up Mozo with 6 choice specs users, which is insane to say. Yeah, that's a choice specs Patron you see right there. That's wild. I wanted to see choice specs Great Tusk, but unfortunately he wasn't brought. While Kine was a little bit flustered and just, yeah, he didn't really get a grab on the game. Ended up being a 6-0 win for Mozo Knight. Like I said, it doesn't reflect the skill these players have. I feel like Kine would have done way better than a 6-0 in any other given game. But yeah, today wasn't his day, and it ended up as a 6-0 win for Mozo Knight. Meaning that we have our first finalist revealed. It's Mozo Knight going, what is it, like 9-1 this season? Insane. So congratulations to him for making the finals. And Kine, man, going out 6-0 is of course, it's never great. But you've had such a great season, so don't let anyone take this away from you. Yeah, of course, this game doesn't reflect the season you had, but for a first timer in Draft League format, you've shown time and time again that you're a very capable battler. So take that away, and just don't pay attention to the 6-0 right here. And with that being said, we're moving on to the semi-final match. The game of the week semi-final match, Butter versus Yurmas. Yeah, for the guys who've seen every single video, you might recognize this matchup. It's the week 1 matchup. Week 1 was Butter's first win. It was Yurmas' first defeat. And it ended up being the beginning of a wild and rambunctious season for the both of them. Yurmas had some ups and downs throughout the season, but I feel like he's a very capable battler, and I think he knows it as well. He can team build quite creatively, and especially seeing his game last week, the man can cook. He can cook. Going into this, he was a little bit of the outsider. Butter just being undefeated thus far, 9-0 I believe at this point, is insane, of course. And how are you going to break through that? And especially knowing how badly Butter controlled that first game. What do you do to get that control back? Are you going to bring different teams? Are you going to bring different mons? So yeah, it's a very different thing to keep in the back of your mind. What are some standout mons? Of course, we're gonna talk about Kieran White again. Kieran White was very prevalent in the first game. A choice back set can kill anything on the Butter side, pretty much. Of course, a Magirna is pressured, but it can tank a hit here and there. The Oxus as well, the excellent offensive combination of the two of them can rain upon hell if they are able to. The Zoroark Hisui was excellent last game, so why can't I do it the same old trick this game as well? I can't look past the dominance that Butter had last game. And last time around, it was that display of Embor, of course. I think he, with the transfer, Zapdos G is actually better than Staraptor in this matchup. Yeah, of course you lose a normal type, you lose the ghost immunity to the Zoroark Hisui, but the Galarian Zapdos is just able to braver anything and everything in its path, only having one resist, that Hisui and Sliggoo, which yeah, doesn't have the greatest defense. So I feel like Butter once again has the matchup. He has a lot of capabilities of breaking down the team. Well, I haven't seen this match. I know the result, but I haven't seen it, so that's semi-blind reaction, kind of preparing for next week. So yeah, without further ado, let's just dive in the match and see how this plays out. We have that Zapdos G, that newly transferred Mon, back in the game, brave birding Quagsire. Quagsire, who last time unfortunately had to meet the demise versus the choice band Embor, which this time is not even brought, so that's very different, of course. Quagsire being spared that Flare Blitz doom. But Grass Knot on the Landorus T is a very cool bring. Of course, that's going to be able to break down a Quagsire if needed. Butter knowing that he's going to switch out himself, and he gets tricked. It was a choice Scarf, which is a very interesting bring. A choice Scarf Florges, but now it can't do its trick anymore because of the AV he just received. Massive damage on that Skuntank, while Skuntank misses the gunk shot. Whew, that's quite a turn, as Euromoss is able to chip down the team even further with those Moonblasts. It's the debut of Sliggoo. What a debut it is. First time he was brought this season, and it's automatically in a semifinals, which is insane. Gooey, but doesn't really matter at that point. Sliggoo is now able to chip down the mighty Giratina. Giratina, of course, trembling in the face of the legend that is Sliggoo. But Sliggoo can break it. Florence has to come out. Of course, wants to click Moonblast once again, but switches out into Quagsire. So it's Bulky Water versus Bulky Water right here. But I think none of these mons can gain anything from it. Quagsire in the face of the Magirna. What does it want to do? It's a Fleur Cannon into the Quagsire, of course, because of these Pedef drops. It's gonna sting like a motherfucker. Quagsire is staying in on the Zapdos G. Zapdos G going for a knockoff. Probably a Scarf or a Band set. But judging by the damage, holy crap, 27% is a lot versus Florges. Florges regaining some momentum with a Baton Pass, and potentially this is the way Euromoss wiggles his way back in the game, because I feel like Butter, once again this season, has a little bit of the advantage while just pivoting around. But this Kyurem with the sub, of course not being broken by a Alamomola. Kyurem is in a position he wants to be in. How much is it able to do versus the Magirna? That's the real question. It's 50%, no AV this time. And I feel like that's the great value of that Florges. Tricking away that AV that was so nasty last game. Doing 50% now versus Magirna. That's very important. As well, this play. Amazing use of the Terra Flying on Sliggoo. So Euromoss is really wiggling his way back into the game. Where I feel like in the beginning it was very difficult to find a footing for him. But now he's playing excellently. Even pivoting out T-Wave, man, on the Quag. What a play. Euromas is really getting back into this game. But what is his game plan? I feel like that Kieran White is his game plan. Now Skeleton has to go down, not before going for a Toxic Spike. And that's an annoying Toxic Spike because nobody really wants to tank that, of course. Banderas is going to get chipped down, getting the momentum back in the game. Magirna dropping once again. But Magirna, yeah, he can Flare Cannon here. There's not really a switch in. Energy Ball as well. What a great reveal. But we know it's in Choice Scarf set now, so it has to switch out. Probably expecting a switch out on their part, on Euromas' part. Euromas revealing that is not a heavy duty boot set. It's something different. Potentially a Choice Scarf to outspeed as Zepto G. We don't know that, but Sliggoo unfortunately has to go down. Not a bad debut if you ask me. Bender is getting chipped down little by little, and Euromas is now revealing that it's not a Choice Scarf Cinderace. It was a Choice Scarf Banderas, and that's nasty as a motherfucker. Because now, that's a way for Butter to get into this game. You wanted the Banderas down, and Cinderace was actually a mon that had great value. Just pivoting around, being able to pressure that Magirna, being able to pressure that Zeptos G, of course. So, it's a very even game, and it can go either way, but Hex on the Giratina, threatening out that Quagsire. You know what's gonna happen. It's Deoxys dropping. I don't know if that was a play. I really don't know if that was a play, because Deoxys could have done way more, and now it's just Giratina racking up damage left and right. That's a lot of damage on Giratina itself, but not before taking out the Florges, and now Euromas is in such a back footing. Yes, it was a crit on Hex, by the way, I noticed. That's a nasty crit, but I don't think in the grand scheme of things it really mattered that much. Kyurem taking down the Giratina, but at this point, it's Kyurem versus a lot of threats, and Zeptos G at this point is the fastest mon right here, so it can actually just clean up, seemingly. Quagsire is able to take one hit, but not two. Yeah, Toxic just stalling out the PP. I know. I don't know. Gotta go for Protect what now? It's now going for the Protect once again. And now it's just Kyurem versus a faster mon in this instance. And Kyurem is going to go down versus Zeptos G. So, man, last time he lost, he picked up a new mon, and that new mon was actually the shining star in this match, I feel like. Zeptos G was very well played. But I want to say just props to Euromas. Euromas really felt, it felt like in a long time that, it hasn't felt like Butter is being pressured in the game this much as in this match. I feel like this is one of the closest matches in the sense of who's gonna win. I don't know. The match versus Wi-Fi, of course, was also very tight, but one of the tightest matches that Butter has had, because that mid-game Euromas was actually just racking up so much damage, getting so much momentum, and all out of that Trick Florges play. I feel like that was an amazing play, pivoting around nicely with a Sliggoo Hisui as well. But in the end, Butter was just overwhelming, and especially after the Deoxys went down, it was there was no way back. Cinderace going down as well. Unfortunately for Euromas, the season ends here, but not without a... Honestly, you in playoffs, you were great. You were actually great. For the first time in playoffs, you played excellently, and that's no shame in losing right there. But it's Butter going undefeated up until the semifinals. We don't know if he's gonna go for the undefeated season, but if he is, it's legendary. But his opponent, of course, in that finale is Moissanite. Two juggernauts that a lot of people have wanted to see face off for a long time. And now it's gonna happen. So, yeah, guys, I'm just as hyped as you are. Next week, like I said, it's gonna be a blind reaction. I've got no clue how this is gonna turn out, but it's gonna be funny as hell. But I have to give one mon of the week status, and that's, yeah, it's gonna be Zeptos G. I want to say the cute answer of Florges or Sliggoo Hisui, but just the overwhelming offensive pressure in this match for Zeptos G to just clean up. Yeah, I can't look away. So Zeptos G gets mon of the week, and with that, pretty much all of Pool B is wrapped up. Like I said, next week, it's gonna be finale. I hope to see you guys there, and I wish you guys a great day. Goodbye.